All
Hey
right.
Ray,
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. It's a rainy Saturday here too.
Yes, where are you where are you at right now? Can you share?
I'm at one of my favorite coffee shops, Jitters, here in Mission.
Okay. How's the coffee? I've never been there.
Well,
I want to check it out.
the coffee's real good. I'm not a coffee drinker. I'll come here for the tea and the free Wi-Fi, of course.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, and that sounds like a good plan. I might have to go over there and swing on by, get some tea and some of that
I
Wi-Fi.
encourage you. I encourage you. It's a fabulous place.
Okay, great. So right before I begin asking you the questions I sent you over through LinkedIn, I just want to go ahead and reiterate from what I've been interviewing other people as well, my kind of
Yeah.
mission. So my mission is I just want to let you know that this interview is really about getting the tech conversation going. My goal is
Right.
to break things down in a way that's easy to understand, whether someone is just starting out or already in the field. So I'm not here to quiz you or make things overcomplicated. I'm just hoping we can have a good, honest conversation about tech, what you do, and why it matters. So feel free to keep it simple, share your perspective, and let's just
Yeah,
talk.
absolutely.
Sounds good?
Yeah, absolutely.
So another thing right before we begin, can you go ahead and introduce the viewers what you do and where you work if you can?
Sure, sure. My name is Ray Garza. I work at the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley here in Edinburg, Texas. I am a software web engineer. That's my current title. I do basically web applications for the various departments on campus that usually want to modernize their process from some paper-based system to something more online, automated type environment. So that's what I help them out with.
So just to kind of circle back, I did interview one of your not coworkers, but maybe somebody you might know. His name was Jaime Cortez. He was my first person I've interviewed, episode one. He works for the security, so I don't know if you know
Oh,
him, but
okay. I may have seen him. There's so many people here on campus that I usually recognize them by face. You know.
yes, he was my first person I interviewed. So you're my fourth interview. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So my
Okay.
first question that I sent you over, for those who aren't familiar, could you break down what full stack developer actually means in the context of a university?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Full stack. We're here at the university. So we're a small environment group. We do everything from the front end all the way to the database side for storing, retrieving information. So that's the full stack. The full stack, we're using software like React and Vite or Vite for the front end, and then for the back end, we're a .NET shop, so Microsoft environment. So we use .NET. Right now, I'm using .NET 9, and we use the entity framework to communicate with the database to save and retrieve information to display on the screen. So that's a full stack. So we had to cover the whole gamut of everything from the UI interface on the screen to processing to storing the data on the database. Now we don't actually manage the database. We just use environments to store data on there. We have other people to do that. So that's full
So would
stack.
you so would you say, I mean, so what's kind of like maybe your day to day? What are applications are you typically responsible for? Would you say
Well,
now currently?
we got two types. We have the brand new applications that's never been done before. So those are the new projects. But most of the time, we're doing maintenance. The older programs that we develop, something comes up, a bug crops up that hasn't been caught in testing, or some new enhancement that they want to do on the application. So we go back and do maintenance. Those are our primary options, maintenance. I am developing a new application But in the meantime, I also juggle the other applications that come up in our ticketing program. So it's a balancing act between the two.
Okay, so you kind of seems like you had your hands full, kind of almost at day to day.
Yeah, a lot of times it is, and you have to prioritize which one you're going to work on. Usually, uh, some departments have higher priority, so we work on those first. Other times, there are days where I'm just doing this one project and nothing else, and that gives me more time to research and find new technologies that we want to implement and utilize. So that gives me opportunities to do that. Otherwise, it's just, code, meetings, documentation, a lot of documentations, and things of that nature. So, yeah, we stay busy.
And when you say research, now that it's a big thing, right? We can't avoid it. How big are you into kind of maybe asking Copilot for help or ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Um, because
Yes,
I
yes.
know I've kind of followed you on LinkedIn, and it seems that you're kind of working with Copilot or you're getting your certifications. Do you use Copilot a lot, or is that
Yes, yes.
something?
Microsoft came up with their Copilot within their IDE system. I use Visual Studio and VS Code, mostly VS Code for the newer projects. And it has a Copilot built in. So yes, it has saved me tons and tons of time, uh, not only researching, but troubleshooting. I can give it some snippets of code or have it go look at some files, describe the problem I'm having and what the code should be done, and it comes out and spits out information that I have not noticed. And it really helps me save a lot of time in troubleshooting. That's a big time saving factor right there.
And do you trust DeepSeek or ChatGPT to help you out as well, or is just mainly Copilot for now?
Well, within the VS Code, you have several different models to choose from. Uh, uh, ChatGPT, I think there's about 4 or 5 different models to choose from, and some are better at certain tasks than others. And sometimes when none of them is giving me acceptable answers or solutions, and I find myself stuck, I go outside of that, and Gemini seems to come up as a big winner. A lot of times, it's really helped me get over the threshold of being stuck. Uh, so yeah, I don't use it all the time, but I use it as a backup. It's a good backup.
Yeah, I do agree, right? You know, you and I probably kind of already know the stuff. It's just sometimes maybe something we just don't know. Or we need more information. It's always good to pull up Gemini,
Yeah, yeah,
Copilot.
yeah, and they're also good at teaching you stuff too. Uh, I use it for, hey, how do I do XYZ? Or explain this to me. And it goes out and explains it out and shows you it's a good tutorial as well. So I've learned a lot from that. And of course, you can double check and you go online and check to see, oh yeah, yeah, that's right, that's right. So it is a very good tool to have and learn how to use. Because it's not going anywhere. It's not a bad. It's going to be continuously be improved on. And the more you learn how to use it, the greater tools can be good for you.
So it seems, you know, you kind of are answering kind of the next question, but I just want to get just more information.
Sure.
So what's a typical day like for you? Are you coding all day, or are other responsibilities unique to working at a university that you have?
Well, usually I just get up in the morning. First of all, I work remotely. We don't have to go on campus anymore ever since the COVID happened. So basically, anywhere where there's an internet, I can go. Usually the coffee shops. It's a nice coding environment for me. Uh, that I like to do. Sometimes I do code at home because I get the two big screens, so that helps you visualize your work environment. But usually in the mornings, check emails, catch up on the emails. Sometimes I don't, I hate to say it, but sometimes I'm stuck coding and I don't have time for the emails. That gets pushed back. And a lot of times I tell my clients that if you get something urgent, send me a text message on Teams chat. I keep that open all the time. So that, that comes up. So yeah, checking my emails, seeing what I'm going to need to do today. I check on my DevOps boards to see where I'm at on this particular project or ticket that I'm working on. And then I go from there. I also decide which jitters I'm going to go to. Just two coffee shops I like jitters, and they got two locations. One is very busy, and there's another one that's further away that I ride my bike to, and it's more quieter. It's more business type environment, and they get better seats, so I can focus better. So yeah, yeah. I, from then on, I start putting my project, start coding. If I need to do some research, I take time to do research, document. If I'm working on documentation, I do that. Uh, Sometimes we have on campus, we have something called Vaquero Connect, and that's where students reach out to find mentors to answer their questions. So I support that program and help out students and answering their questions. What's it like to be a developer? What's a typical day? So I help them out with that, and they think they like it a lot. So that's another thing I do to keep me going. And I also do just a lot of research on my own. How to do your job better. Uh, Usually, you want to be more efficient in your job, so you have more free time to do other stuff, but you still get the job done. And I do a lot of research on different technologies that I can apply to my job, and then I'll work it through. I find something that I like, and I try it out. And if it's good for me, I start documenting it, and then I put it on the developer's wiki page. We have a wiki page where we can put their all sorts of tips and technologies and resources that we can use, or specific how-tos, how to use Splunk, how to log into Splunk, how to do queries on Splunk to look at the logs that you create in your applications. And we share the technology and the how-to with everyone on our development team. So that helps out everyone to do the job easier. So that's basically what I do: coding, research, documentation, mentorship. Uh, that pretty much fills the day. A lot of stuff.
And it's good that we're having this interview because it's not so much also, I like to kind of teach the viewers, but it's also for myself as well. I like to look back at my interviews, and I do take a lot from it because, I know everybody that interviews is so busy, and I'm glad, like, again, for you to be here and
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
take the time and be interviewed. But as me myself, probably still kind of learning, still kind of going and trying to get better at programming. What's kind of one advice you would give me, maybe just to get better? Because I don't use React. I want to start,
Right,
going
right.
in there and code something. What would you recommend?
Uh, on those Vaquero Connects, the students they ask the same question, and the same thing I tell them: never stop learning. Always continues to learn. Your job, just because you're programming in React or C Sharp, it's something like that. That's not the end of everything. Just because you get your college degree, that's not the end of it. You got to continuously learn. There's a ton of things to learn. Aspire came out recently, and I learned how to do that. Uh, it helps
And for
my
those who don't
coding.
know, what is Aspire? I myself don't know what Aspire
Oh,
is.
Aspire is it's for Microsoft. It is the coding environment for developing software. It helps you containerize your applications, your front end and your back end. Uh, it does everything. Normally, when you run your both front end and back ends in VS Code or Visual Studio, you have to manually launch your front end on your command line, and then go to your command line and launch your back end, and then go to your Splunk to look at your logs. Aspire uh, container bundles everything together in one project. It does all the launching for you. It does all the communications between the two applications. It captures the logs that you display, and you have it on one screen. You don't have to be jumping around from one page to another. It's all on one screen for you, and it really, really helps you uh, pull all the pieces together in one central location for you. So you can restart your application right there on the with the dashboard. You can restart your application. You can make changes and then restart your application right there. You make changes to your back end. There's a stop and start button right there. You can relaunch it. It's very, very convenient. There's a menu on the side where you can go and check your your stack. You can check your error logs. You can check your logging information, your structured logs that you put out, all without having to go anywhere. So that is a new feature from Microsoft. It came out in .NET 6. It's been updating ever since, and it got to the point where it's very, very easy to install and set up. So that's Aspire 9.2. There's You can look it up on Microsoft Learn, and it has a lot of tutorials on there on how to learn, how to use it, how to set it up. So both front end, back end, it's not, and it helps you deploy it too. But it's not Microsoft only. You can do React, you can do JavaScript, you can do Java. I think you can do Java as well, Angular, all sorts of different front end frameworks. They incorporate that, as well as their own Microsoft products like Blazor and React. Total Microsoft, or you can split it up to uh, outside of Microsoft and work it that way too. So it's a very, very, very nice program. I encourage you to go look it out. But the main thing I tell my the people to ask is, you never stop learning. Once you stop learning, you're dead. You're very little value to the companies, any company you're at, because you're basically there for a paycheck. You know, so uh, yeah, you have to stay learning, learning, learning. That helps you. Uh, One other thing I tell my people is to develop their soft skills. Hard skills are like your programming, learn how to program and stuff like that. But your soft skills is also just as important. Communications, how you write, your documentation, your style of documentation. Is it kind of poor, or is it very specific and detailed for other people to follow? Your coding, do you put comments in your codes? For other people, I have to take over other projects because they're busy with other stuff. So I have to go look at their code. So if you're disciplined in your coding, if it's easier for you to follow what it is they're doing if they have comments. Uh, Other soft skills is communications. A lot of times you have to get up and present in front of people. So you have to be able to be comfortable speaking in front of other people. So those are all the soft skills you need to learn and participate and hone in and sharpen, because you do have to talk to your clients. I have meetings with my clients, and you get to be presentable. You got to be able to communicate. effectively and jump in and give them advice. Maybe a lot of times the customer doesn't know what they want, and you have to help them. You have to guide them with your experience and tell them, "And no, you shouldn't be doing that. It's better if you do it this way, and this is why." And you give them explanations and you teach them. You teach them, and so they start to understand. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. That makes more sense. Because a lot of times they're going off paper. A lot of times, they have paper forms that they want to convert to online. A lot of times, because it's on paper, they do it a certain way in the process. But when you do it online, that process changes, and they may not need to do it the old way. And there's a new way, a better way of doing it to process that information. So you got to teach them it too, and that's your communication skills to help them with that. So there's a lot of soft skills that you need to develop besides your coding. Uh, if you're one of those guys that are just stay in their closet in the basement coding all day, yeah, you can be a sharp coder, but your people skills are going to be terrible. You're not going to be able to eh, get across what to your customers what you really need to do or what they need to do, and there can be a lot of frustrations because you need to communicate with the other developers too, and and communicate with them, help them out, and they help you out. I call it "I need your eyes" type situation where you're stuck and you need a fresh set of eyes to look at the program. So you need to have a good repertoire with your other developers for them to be willing to stop what they're doing and help you out. So, so if you're friendly, you're helpful, you be willing to help others. Yeah, they're going to reciprocate and help you. But if you're stuck in your closet and you don't communicate with anybody, yeah, they're going to be. I'm busy with my stuff. You know. So those are soft skills that you need to learn and sharpen and help. Because it's gonna in the long term, it's gonna help you and your reviews. Everyone gets reviews in a company, and the more you stand out in a positive way, the better review you're gonna get. That's from my experience.
Would you say that you learned more or less from issues? Like let's say for example, how do you handle bugs or unexpected issues that pop up after a system goes live? And what's the process for fixing things? Do you learn anything from maybe issues that pop up at all,
Yeah.
or is it more of burdensome more than
No, no, no,
anything?
no, no. It's more of a problem to be solved. As an engineer, you want to solve the problems. So the first thing to do is to try to repeat the problem. So we have our test environment. And I usually ask them to go in a test environment to see if you can repeat the process there. And if you can, exactly what you did to get it to fail, you write it down, you document it, so you can try it out yourself. So once you learn what it is that caused the issue, then you can go in your code and repeat it and start isolating where it went wrong. Then you can learn from that. Oh, and if I had a try catch at this point, I would have fixed it. So you learn to do that. You learn from your mistakes. That's a key. Yeah. You got to learn from your mistakes. You got to own up to your mistakes and not try to hide from them. You got mistakes are your friends too. Everything's your friend. So yeah, there's
So
a process.
so there's a process, first of all, kind of recreating, like you said,
Right.
recreating the problem.
Right.
And then the second most important thing is probably writing down how you're doing that.
Right. Right. You document it so that if it happens again, you say, "Hey, I remember that happened again." You go look at my notes and look it up, see what I did to fix it. They could be on a different application you've done in the past, and now it's cropping up on that particular application. You can go, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." You go look it up. So yeah, documentation, it saves you. It saves you a lot.
So it seems you can fix some things and also be an innovator in making new applications, right? Seems like
Yes.
that's kind of what you do. So how does your role contribute to innovation at the university, whether it's supporting research, improving teaching, or streamlining administrative tasks?
Well, I take it upon myself to research new stuff because I'm always thinking, what's the standard way of doing stuff? We learn how to program a certain way a lot in college, but they don't necessarily teach you the best practices in software development. So that's always in the back of my mind. I mean, yeah, I'm slamming out code, but is this the right way of doing it? It works, but is this the right way of doing this? What's the best practice of doing this? So that's part of my research. That's where I come across, yeah, you need to separate the concerns, don't repeat yourself, uh, development patterns. So I learned those stuff. I've tried to, and something doesn't happen right away. Something takes half a year or a year to find. Oh yeah, that's what they meant. And so I develop it and I hone it, and then I tell my boss, "Hey, we should be doing it this way." He looks at it. Yeah, 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 that's right. And they said, "Well, I documented it over here." Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Let me try that. So he tries it out. Unit testing. Um, I know we should be doing unit testing. That was never taught in school. Okay. But it's a standard practice to unit test your code so that you're comfortable to make changes to it without breaking something. Because you can verify with unit tests. The, you make a change in your code and unit test passes, okay, you're still good. You continue going. You make a change in your code and unit test fails, uh-oh. I did something to mess something up. You can go back and change and fix it. So it gives you the confidence the stuff you're making or you're changing or adding doesn't break your unit tests, which test the core functionalities of the application. Uh, so that's a new standard well, not a new standard, but it's a standard we should be practicing. So we haven't been doing that. No one's taught us how to do that. So that's something I learned on my own. I watch videos after videos. I tried it myself. I get it going. I learn how to do it. I put it in my workflow, deploy it, and learn how to use it. And then I get comfortable with it. I'll tell my boss. He said, "Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me try it." Then he tries it, and if he likes it, and then somebody else looks at it, and, "Oh yeah, that sounds good. Let me try it." And it catches on and it rolls out. So I like doing that stuff. Aspire, we never thought of doing that. Just something that you learn at conferences, but we never tried it out until I went, yeah, okay, that sounds real good. I like that. Let me try it out. So I tried it. I struggled with it. Then the new version came out, so I went back and tried it again, and then it started to work. Oh, it's good at working. And I look at it and it's like, oh yeah, it makes development a whole lot easier. I tell my boss, he looks at it. Oh yeah, yeah. I've been experimenting with it too. But you're able to get it, and we start talking back and forth, exchanging ideas. Then he gets his working. He has more stuff that I never thought about. Caching, containerizing, and then person, other people we document again. We document everything, so we can show you how to do this. And other people, we start training other people, our developers, on how to do that. So everyone's starting to learn how to do that. So that's how we innovate. We learn we have one or two people learn the new technology because other people are busy working on their high priority projects. So that gives us time for us to learn new stuff, document it, try it out, push it out, get the feel of it. And then we tell other people, we show them how to do it. I'm planning to have meetings as soon as one major project is done. We can start having meetings like how-to meetings, show them how to do the technology, how to use Aspire, how to configure it, uh, how to use it in the application, what applications are good for it. Our older applications, unfortunately, don't support that. So it's all our newer stuff that we're doing. So, people have to do that. Well, I plan to have stuff in unit testing to explain to other developers how to do unit testing. But before you can do unit testing, you got to code in a certain way to make unit testing feasible. That's one thing I learned through. I tried to do unit testing at a time where my code wasn't at the was it was working, yeah, but it wasn't in good standard practice where it could be used in unit testing. So I had to learn how to refactor my code to get it to the point where I can start using unit testing on it. So that's a learning process to go through to innovate. The standard practices, what are they? Like I said, no one teaches that in school. Um, so that's something that's always in the back of my mind. Standard practices, how to use it, how to employ it. Show it to my boss. He likes it. It goes up the food chain. We try to spreading it out, get our other developers doing the same thing, so we're all on the same page. So there's a lot more to do, uh, but I'm ready to help out.
And I don't know how much you can share, but is there like a project that you're very proud of that maybe our viewers can look somewhere that you have? I know people now know that
Uh,
you work for UTRGV, so is there something you're proud of, or maybe you can speak a little bit about it, maybe very vaguely? I mean,
yeah,
it's very fascinating. It's very fascinating, and I'm
our code base is private. We can't show a code base, uh, so I can't do that. But I can describe one application where it came a very tremendous value to the department. And I also implemented new technology in that one there too, because I wanted to try something out, specifically with workflows. Uh, the School of Medicine uh, is
and
one of our big,
that's very interesting. I know UTRGV is growing rapidly, and
yes, yes.
yeah. I'm sorry, I
The
cut you
school,
off, but it's
no, that's
fascinating.
fine, fine. School of Medicine is one of our big clients, at least for me. And what they're doing is again a manual process. They have their students that for some reason, some point in time, they need to leave the program. So they go through a process to make sure from all the departments that they clear their statuses with each department before they can release them. And it was a long time consuming manual process, emails being exchanged back and forth, and can we kind of keep track of each student and all the emails. It was just they were spinning their wheels. It's so much processing. So they asked us to develop an application for them to do that. So I came up with an application uh, that allows the student to log in, fill out a form, explain the dates they're leaving, if they're coming back, the reasons why, and stuff like that. Capture all that information, sends it off to the school administration registrar's office. They look at it, they check for completion. If it looks good, then they hit a button, send it off to a workflow, which is I created using a Power Automate for Microsoft. It's a no code, low code solution where you basically do it in a flowchart type of environment. You do all the if then and processing parts without doing any coding. It's more of a flow chart, so it makes things easier to flow out. And that handles all the workflows as far as sending out all the emails to all the departments and waiting for them to respond and like approve or disapprove, and then sends the information back to my application. And then my application processes it, sends it out to the database, and saves the information, and updates their dashboard to show. You go to each student and look at the workflow and all the departments, whether they approved or didn't approve, they put it on hold, and they put in comments about what's going on, and they can talk back and forth with the department without any emails right there on the dashboard. They can send and receive comments back and forth, and it's all recorded, time stamped for them to look back and have a recorded history of everything that's been going on with that student for that particular department. Now, each department can't see other departments. They can only communicate with the registrar, but the registrar can see all the departments. So there's a separation of duties. Everything's logged, everything's saved in the database. And when all the approvals finally get approved, the registrars can say, yeah, everything's give the stamp of approval, boom, sends out an email to the student, you have been approved for your leave and you're set to go. So it eliminates all the paperwork, eliminates all the emails back and forth to tracking the students manually through the email system, phone calls, or personal notes, or maybe a spreadsheet they may have been using. It's all done online. And everything is recorded. They can go back in history and look. They had a problem with a particular student. They go back, pull up the record, see all the conversation histories, all the approvals, all the problems they may have had with that particular student, or everything went smoothly. Yeah, everything went smoothly. Here's the information there. It's all recorded. So they're very, very happy with that because it saves them a lot, a lot. That's what we're here for, to make their jobs easier and more efficient and more productive. They can be more productive. So that they're really happy with that. That's
And
one of our biggest projects. Go
the
ahead.
one for School of Medicine there at UTRGV, that's probably
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes. It handles both students interactions and staff interactions, and they're separate. The student can't see other people's information, others applicant. They can only see theirs, and they can see the status of their application, where it's at. So, there's a lot of feedback, a lot of transparency, make it a good environment. That's part of the developer, make the application both friendly, good to the interface, provide positive feedback, transparency, easy to use, and secure, accessible for those with accessibilities. That's part of what we do.
So my last question, and it could either be a scary answer or a positive answer, right? Because of
Oh,
how
okay, okay.
AI is shaping our world. But looking ahead, what emerging technologies do you think will have the biggest impact on university operations and learning in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, well, it'll definitely be AI, as you mentioned. Uh, AI, uh, we're starting to push AI into our department's web pages, where the individuals can interact with the AI agent and give them information related to that particular department. We can train the AI to look at manuals and procedures and standard procedures specific to that department. So they know exactly what the department does, the policies, how to's, and that information. So they can give specific information to that user. And then if that information is not satisfying to the user, we can actually hook them up to a live person, whoever's assigned for that particular day or week or that particular role. We can actually have them hook up and have them connect directly to the person through Teams, and they can talk to a live person that way too. Now, that's one aspect of AI. There's another aspect of AI that we're exploring, is where the AI can actually do stuff for the department, and using access to whatever databases or documents they may have on hand to train the AI. You can make the AI do specific workflow tasks for them. send out emails, approve this, go through a approval checklist, or whatever it is that they want the AI to do for them. So that's like an extra person trained to do something, and that the AI can actually go and do it for them. That's something we're exploring. It's something that's new. Uh, I think we do have one department that I think that wants to go that route eventually. So we're it's a learning process on both ends. We have individuals that are training on that, learning how to do that, and then of course we isolate in a test environment. We have our department go in and test it out to check it out to see if it's giving you good answers, good results, valid results. We do a lot of testing, a lot of different case studies, case scenarios to test out the different aspects of what we're looking to get out of it before we roll it out into a live production environment. So I say AI is going to be uh, a big factor in the coming future. It's advancing so quickly.
Well, that might just be an exclusive because I didn't know that that's something, or maybe is that something that's already been about on the utrgv.edu website already?
No, we had other chatbots
Okay.
before. We had chatbots before, but not they weren't like an AI type chatbot. It was a scripted chatbot. Ask some specific questions, can give you a specific answer. Uh, that type of environment. The AI, Microsoft is coming out with their AI products. You know, these AI products can be enterprise level, so they can be secure, a secure type of environment. That's one thing we're always conscious and cautious about is security. We don't want our stuff going out into the wild. So these are enterprise level. They're designed for secure environments, isolated environments. So we can't learn what other universities are doing. It's strictly what our department. We narrowed it down to a specific department of what they can do. So one chatbot doesn't know what the other chatbot's doing. Okay, so there's separate entities, and Microsoft has them two levels. There's a basic chatbot where you interact. It goes to a knowledge base that you provide to it. You can tell it not to go out to the wild. Just stick to these knowledge bases that we provide to you and get your information from there. So and they just spit out a response. There's another AI called Microsoft calls them agents, but they can actually go to do something that you allow it to do. You can define parameters for it to do, like send out an email, go look up this table, make a change here, send out the results, whatever it may be. It's an agent that can work on your behalf to do the work for you. What they call that agents. We have that in VS Code too. VS Code also has AI where you can talk back and forth interaction. There's another one where it can make an edit for you, but it'll stop and ask you, do you want to make any changes for you? You say yes. And then there's an agent mode where it just goes down and does it for you, modifies all the code for you, all the different locations, get responses, get pushes and stuff like that. It does that for you. It's an agent. So like an actual person there sitting there doing it, and you're looking over the shoulders, making sure, it's doing it right. You can tell it to stop, uh, but they call it agents. So that's the level the university is exploring in both the development side and on the department side, where the department is displayed on their webpage for the user to come in and interact.
Exciting
So
stuff, Ray. Exciting stuff.
yes,
And
I,
that
I
was
wish I had my
my
hands on it. I
okay,
wish I had my
you don't have your
no,
hands on it right now.
no,
Okay.
I don't have my hands. I want to get my hands on it because I love. I done went to some training, but I'm so busy with other stuff. You can't do everything, so you have to
No,
spread it
right.
out. You have to spread it out, which is good.
Yeah, which is good. So any final thoughts? That was my last question. Any final thoughts? If
Oh,
you want to speak on something
no, no,
else?
no. I love what you're doing. This is fantastic. I always thought about doing this myself, what you're doing here. I have my own channel or podcast because I see that a lot on. I watch a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I like what they're doing. And I always thought, man, I wish I could do this too. But I love what you're doing. I encourage you to keep it up. If you want me to come back, I'll be glad to come back talk about other stuff too. It'll be fantastic.
Oh, hey, that's good to hear because this was an interesting conversation and you're very knowledgeable and I appreciate it. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
you're
and
welcome.
of course, if you
Thanks for
ever start
asking.
your YouTube channel, I'd be more than happy to also uh talk, maybe be interviewed by you. I'm always available. So I
Oh,
appreciate it.
great.
Where can people find you? Do you have one right now, YouTube channel, or do you have a LinkedIn or a social media that people maybe if you're ever sharing an article, where can they find you, learn more? Maybe ask you a
Uh,
question like, "Hey, I want to be a developer someday," or maybe switch
you can
careers. You
you can
know,
find me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn.
okay.
Uh, uh, you should be able to find me Ray Garza, and if you put in UTRGV, you should be able to find me. Or you can put it on your show notes. You can find me on my email, ray.garza@utrgv.edu. You can put it in your show notes if you want. I can always catch me there. I have Twitter and other stuff, but that's not computer related. That's other stuff type of cycling. I do a lot of cycling, so I do cycling related materials on that. So my email, Ray Garza that Ray Garza at utrgv.edu, or on my LinkedIn. You search by my name and UTRGV, you should be able to find me there too.
And I also would be very happy to share if you're doing cycling content, maybe people who wanna. I have my own bicycle. Maybe I'd like to learn more information. Where can we find more information about your cycling content?
Oh,
Is it
okay. It's on Twitter. It would be at UTRG, no, at RGV Cycling is my handle there on Twitter, and it on on Instagram it's Valley Night Skies. I used to do astronomy too, so you can also catch me there too. So Twitter and Instagram is my two social media accounts that I'll be no problem sharing.
awesome? Thank you very much, Ray. I hope you have a nice rest of your Saturday. Thank you for taking the
Thank you,
time
thank you.
and being here with me.
All right, good to be here.
Okay. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you. Have a good day.